fail as long as we are learning, as long as we're testing new things, and as long as we're thinking about things in a new way. To us, that's a great success. Hi, everyone. My name is Emily, and this is Daniel, and we're from this Digital Strategy and Innovation team at CIBC. So our team manages the strategic roadmap for our digital channels. So that includes online, so CIBC.com and online banking, as well as our mobile channels. So like our mobile native app, our tablet app, and so on. So we're excited to be here today to talk to you guys about innovation and culture. It's something that's really important to us at Digital Channels. So CIBC is actually somewhat known as a market leader for innovation in the banking space. So we were the first to have an iPad app, prior to that an iPhone app, an iPad app, and we were also one of the first banks to launch an Apple Watch app. So it's a priority for the bank for us to deliver innovation for our customers. And so with that being said, we have a few things that we'd like to share with you today, and I'll pass it off to Daniel to talk about it.
So in terms of driving a culture of innovation at a bank, which is typically not the way they've gone in the past, I think we have to consider a couple of things that we need to change in the bank. First, how we deliver things in the bank. So this is where we start to talk about the methods, the tools, and the teams in terms of how we deliver. So typically in a bank, you're going to start to see a typical waterfall, large projects, anywhere, typical projects that should probably take really only a couple months will take 10, 12, 13 plus months, right? And now we're starting to get into the point where we want to start to deliver more value for our clients, for our customers, and for the business at large. So we need to start thinking about whether it's agile or more iterative development. And this is a big, big change for the bank. Teams, organizations, processes have been built around these large, long processes and projects, and trying to break into that around funding, around project delivery, around resourcing has been a big, big challenge, and that's what we're trying to break down. In terms of what we deliver, very similar to that, it's, we take that meal versus a snack mentality, right? So, everybody loves a large meal. A large meal takes a lot of planning, a lot of preparation, a lot of orchestration around the serving, and sometimes that takes a long time to get, that 6, 8, 10 course meal out the door. But at the same time, your needs, your requirements, what you're hungry for could change largely, between that time. So we're starting to really start to think about what are those little bite-sized snacks of functionality, capability within the properties that our customers and our clients are craving to provide that instant gratification. But it also provides a lot more feedback in which we can start to iterate and to plan out those next releases. We've also built a fairly large infrastructure around how do we measure the feedback, the number of clicks, the path that our customers are taking in these properties, so we can determine what's the best way to satisfy these new needs. And then there becomes the processes. So banks are known to be incredibly process heavy. A lot of these processes are around regulatory, policy, and a lot of those things which we need in place actually to protect our clients, to protect the investments of our clients. However, I think one of the things that we're trying to challenge within our team is how do we have those policies in place, but have a different means to get there? So we're challenging, and it's often somewhat exhaustive to see, well, how can we implement some of these policy frameworks and these regulatory frameworks in a different way that allows us to expedite project delivery, expedite the number of releases we have to market, but also expedite and look at new functionality that would have never been possible before. And so we're starting to look at how do we compose teams differently? How do we change the funding? How do we change the planning for projects quite a bit differently now than ever to start to consider how do we implement these policy frameworks but still manage to do new and great things with our digital properties. And a good example of that is probably what I'll hand it over to Emily to talk about around how we took a new team, a new teaming structure to develop some of our new products.
So we've actually had a presence at Mars for over a year now, and we recently moved into our more permanent space, which we've named the CIBC Live Labs. We have a great group of people there. At any given time, there are a group of co-op students and individuals from CIBC, from our technology team, from our strategy team, and from our user experience team. So having a variety of individuals with different skill sets and different experiences working together in the room at any given time really allows them to think outside the box and leverage all those different perspectives to really, practice blue sky thinking. So they are definitely empowered, and the great thing about it is it's a good way for CIBC to accelerate innovation because they're in an environment where they're actually separated a little bit, from our regular processes and constraints that we might see normally at CIBC, so something like firewalls. So this really allows them to take their ideas and explore them, test them, run with them, and see what comes out of it. The team at the lab is encouraged to evaluate ideas, and not just any ideas, also ones that they're passionate about. So we find that when we empower our co-op students who have a lot of different experiences, the output is amazing. So we've had some really, really amazing work come from our co-op students, as well as the support that they have from our technology, strategy, and user experience teams. So we have some working prototypes that were actually moved from ideation and conception all the way to projects. So we looked at things like the mortgage application process, which we know is all a pain. So they've looked at kind of re-envisioning that and reimagining that process and how they could make it easier. And things like exploring family banking and the different relationships that a family might have when they are banking and interacting with each other. So those are two really great success stories. And what we essentially ask them to do is look at different emerging technologies and collaborate with not only their team members within the lab, but also all the great companies that are here at Mars. So collaboration is also very important, obviously, to facilitating innovation, and that's something that we definitely encourage within the team at the lab. And last but not least, we don't require them to have successful prototypes with everything that they explore, but we definitely say it's okay to fail as long as we are learning, as long as we're testing new things, and as long as we're thinking about things in a new way. To us, that's a great success.
In terms of the way forward, I think there's a lot of things we can do, right? So it's to strive to deliver best-in-class experiences. And what that means for us is taking a varied set of experiences, taking a varied extent of capabilities. And so we've got people who come from a background of consulting, CPG, marketing, digital agency, some arts degrees, some technology degrees. So we've got a varied mix, and I think what that does, it really leads to a great dialogue around where should we go next. Some of this dialogue is very passionate, and there's a lot of very heated discussions around what's the next product that we should launch, what's the next technology and capability we need to move to. But I think it's also that varied and that diverse set of experiences, which is, I guess, really what allows us to push things forward more than the bank ever has, right? Instead of going through a typical kind of decision-making framework. The other things that we're trying to do too is optimize the teams. Typically, delivery teams within the bank have been, large boardroom tables filled with, many technologists, many business folks, lots of project delivery, And what we're trying to move to now is very focused teams. So specialists in this area, specialists around a capability, call it, it could be mobile technology, it could be mortgages. But they really own, we're trying to get it to where they maybe own more of the journey, and as well as all of those little snacks that are part of that big meal. And this is, and this would start to comprise of things like project management. A strategist would be on the team, a UX, an analytics, potentially a data scientist, but making sure that we've got a core team that's empowered, that has a structure around, driving high performance and great experiences for our client, but also that they're fully accountable to the business to deliver these on time, hopefully on budget, but at the same time, really trying to push the envelope in terms of what the bank has done before and where we really want to take it. Around the empowerment of the team, I think there's, a big part of this is communication. I think in the past, and we've seen, over communication in the wrong way. Meetings upon meetings without agendas. So what we're trying to move to is less meetings, focus meetings where the agenda is tight, but also that we're trying to build on to using tools, some that probably skirt the edge of what we should be doing within the bank, but it allows for constant communication. So there's tons of tools out there that are available, but also ones that allow us to keep in touch, whether we're here at the lab, whether we're over at our offices at the atrium, or even downtown and potentially presenting to executives, so that there's always information flowing between the team, and that information could be anything from what technologies are being released, what fintechs have have reached out to us, what we're hearing about other banks. So that, constantly on this tool that we're using, people are posting, the Samsung S7 just came out, or Tangerine just released a press release today. So everything from competitive analysis to technology releases are shared on the website or on the tool. I think the other thing that's really important for us too is how do we build a strong team? And one of the ways that we start to look at things are, who are the best people to fit on the team? And one of the things we're trying to do is really push forward with the referral program, because people within the team understand the culture of the team, what we're trying to accomplish, and what it's like to work there on a daily basis. So to the extent possible, the best people to be brought on the team are the people that we know, potentially on a social basis or on a professional basis, who we know, the level of work to drive that high performance, their capability, their experiences, to make sure that we're varying those to drive to where we need to get to. So in terms of that, we try to push, who can really be a big factor in terms of the team, because I think as we try to define what it means to be part of the digital culture and the digital channels culture, it's not easily to write down on paper. So part of that is what individuals can bring to the team on a day-to-day basis.